All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to get all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect out here preaching this gospel in sincerity and truth throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom. You know, and to start this lesson off, I basically want to start it off with a question, you know, to you brothers and you few women that's out there that may watch, you know, that may tune in, you know, and the question that I have is, are you really ready for Jacob's trouble, man? Because it's right around the corner. Are you built up enough? You know, is your faith built up enough to make it through these times that's coming up? You know, because all you have to do is look at the things that they're talking about. And we know that the scriptures say that this time that's coming up is going to be a time like no other, man. You know what I mean? So they have these different acts. You know, this is the Alien and Sedition Act, you know, and this is an old act, an old law that they've used a few times, you know, in times of war to basically deport immigrants. You know what I'm saying? And Donald Trump is talking about initiating this act once more, you know, for mass deportation of illegal immigrants that's over here in the States, you know, that's still pouring into this place, you know, and that's millions and millions of immigrants. You know what I'm saying? They can even deport people that have citizenship here that may fall into that category of these immigrants, you know, like Hispanics and, you know, Venezuelans. And, you know, you got those people also that are citizens of America, and they're going to get rounded up also, you know. So this is going to be a time like no other, man, if Trump actually followed through with doing this, you know. And we don't know how they're going to do it, but we know that they got something planned because they're putting all these laws into place. You know, it might be a T attack, you know, terror attack. It might be something like that, you know, and they might have where this T attack is caused by one of these immigrants, so that justifies them on this, you know, mass deportation, you know. So we don't know exactly how the Heavenly Father is going to play it out, but we know that this devil, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is basically setting something up, you know, and it's going to be catastrophic, you know. So, you know, I just have a few articles, you know, pulled up. I'm not going to read through every single article, but it's just a few points that I want to touch on, you know, in every article that I got, you know, in every source that I got. So let's just dive into it. And this is not going to be a long lesson because I'm actually at my job right now, and, you know, they're leaving out, so I don't want to get too far behind. So let's just go into this right quick. And it says, this is the Alien and Sedition Act of 19th century. And it says, this highlighted part that we have right here, it says, few milestones were more important in this development than the Federalist adoption of the Alien and Sedition Acts in 1798 during the United States undeclared war with France. The Alien Act made it more difficult for immigrants to become citizens, and the Sedition Act made it a crime to criticize the president or the government of the United States. So the Sedition Act, it says what? It made it a crime to criticize the president or the government of the United States. So while this law was set in place, you have people that was standing up against this, you know, saying that it's basically unconstitutional, you know, and all of that. And it would be a crime to basically, my girl sending me shit. It would basically be a crime, you know, to criticize the president for the things that they're doing and criticize the government for the steps that they are taking once this law is basically initiated. You know what I mean? So that goes into that scripture that they shall make a man an offender for a word, you know, and I actually have that. So let's go grab that real quick, and we can go ahead and cross this one out because we done with that. Like I said, I'm not going to make this too long, but this is Isaiah 29 and 21, and it says, matter of fact, let me go into this real quick. And this is Isaiah 29, and let's start at 20. And it says, "For the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught." So they gonna lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, man. You know, the ones that are basically speaking out on the wrongdoings that are going on in this this kingdom, you know, Great Babylon, America. You know, and that would be the prophets, you know what I'm saying? And that would be, you know, just, you know, mainly the prophets, but, you know, you got other people that's out here that's speaking out against the government and saying what the things that they are doing are wrong and the crimes on humanity and things like that. But it's mainly the prophets. These are the ones that they're really after, you know. So they're going to make a man, you know, a man that's speaking out against this, you know, an upright man, they're going to make them an offender. They're going to make them a criminal just for speaking out on these things that they're doing, these laws they're passing, you know, the crimes that they're doing, you know, creating hurricanes and all of that, you know, speaking out against the whole C-19 era and the you know, the concoction that people was taking in their arm, you know. They're going to make a man a criminal just for speaking out against these things that they're doing. So just like that article said, you know, in that highlighted part, they're going to basically label you a criminal just for speaking out against the president or the government, you know. So, you know, we can see that this is, you know, basically the beginning steps. They're taking the steps to bring in Jacob's trouble, man. We can see it, you know. We can see these things that they're doing, man. We see these steps that they're taking, and they're finna get ready to cause some type of mass event, you know, which me personally, I think is going to happen sometime in this coming year, 2025. And that's going to set the stage for all these other prophecies to get to come to pass, you know, like the MOTB, Mark of the Beast, you know, the what Christians call the Great Tribulation, you know, which is the hour of temptation. You know, it's going to cause all these other things to take place, man. You know what I'm saying? All these other prophecies that we heard about, you know, the spiritual power, all these things is going to come to pass. And this devil was setting these things in motion. And it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a domino effect to these for these other prophecies to take place, you know. So let's go ahead and mark this off. And let's go into this one real quick. And it says the Alien Act of 1798. And let's see what we can find on it real quick. Yeah, and we just read this part. The Alien Act made it more difficult for immigrants to become citizens, and the Sedition Act made it a crime to criticize the president or government. Many Americans dislike the Alien and Sedition Acts primarily because they viewed these acts as being unconstitutional. You know, I ain't really had that much right here, but I do have these articles right here that I'm gonna bring out. So let's go ahead and bring those out real quick. And let's see this one right here. And it says Trump plans to use 18th century, well, I thought it was 19th century, but Trump plans to use 18th century Alien Enemies Act for mass deportations. The law was previously invoked during the War of 1812, World War I, and World War II. So they've used this before. From the decimation of reproductive rights to pardons for people convicted of participating in the 2021 attack on the Capitol, there are many reasons to fear Donald Trump winning another term in office. Extremely high up on that list his vow to carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, which he apparently plans to do by invoking a 18th century law previously used during times of war. And it says the former president has been detailing the mechanism through which he would deport millions of people. The Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which was signed by John Adams and allows the government to detain and remove immigrants when there is a declared war between the United States and any foreign nation or government. And it says the act, as the outlets note, has been invoked just 3 times during the War of 1812, World War I, and World War II, and can also be used if any invasion or predatory incursion is perpetrated, attempted, or threatened against the territory of the United States by any foreign nation or government. You see that? Now pay attention to where it says invasion, because Trump actually used that in his speech, you know. And it says during a campaign stop in Aurora, Colorado last week, Trump said he intends to use the 226-year-old law to target every illegal migrant criminal network operating on American soil. While it cannot be used against American citizens, it will be. You know, it doesn't matter if, you know, you're an American citizen or not, because they're going to need to detain you, you know, and do background checks on you just to make sure that you are an American citizen. So you will be roped up in this mass shit show, you know, this bullshit that they probably coming with. You know, we know that this is one of Esau's tricks and one of his plans to basically get anybody that's against this new world order, you know. But let's see, because it was something that it might be on another article that I got. Let's see real quick. Okay, yeah, it might be on the other article. All right, so let's yeah, but basically, man, you know, he's gonna basically, it doesn't matter if you are an American citizen or not, you know, everybody is gonna be grouped, you know, especially you Israelites, you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You all gonna get roped together, even if you are an American citizen, because they gonna want to detain you and arrest you and basically run your background just to make sure you were born on American soil, you know, basically, you know. And hey, this might be the beginning of them, you know, having to track and trace you. So the people that they, you know, detain or arrest, it might, you know, force you to get that, you know what I'm saying, that the MOTB, that mark of the beast, which we believe to be the RFID chip, which is a physical device that they're gonna have to that you're gonna have to make a choice if you want to take or not, to basically participate in this new world order. Because once this take place, man, America is never going to be the same. You know, it's going to be completely different from this time on out, you know. And this is if Donald Trump gets elected as president again and he, you know, invokes this law right here, you know. But we know that it's coming anyway, man. We know that we can see Jacob's trouble, you know, on the horizon. We can see that this is Jacob's trouble that the scriptures talk about, because everything that's with this act, you know, even the fact that it's called sedition, you know, lets you know that this is the time that it's talking about, you know. So let's I forget which one. Let's see. Yep. Let's start at 14. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. And it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword in their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." So they're gonna have weapons, you know. And the sword can mean, it can mean a gun, it can mean an actual